In July 2000, Fox Movie Channel hosted a very special celebration honoring one of America's greatest film directors, Robert Altman, by making him the recipient of the first ever Legacy Award.
It's a big night for me. I'm happy to be here.
It's a wonderful thing that Fox has done to recognize him.
Friends, colleagues, and media gathered at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art to help celebrate the occasion and witness this inaugural award presentation.
He does deserve it. He's a renegade. He's an innovator.
I can't think of anyone who has been more influential in so many people's lives and in film's life.
Well, he is an artist, and he has a little something that no other director has, a little insanity.
I'm hoping that he's with us for a long time to come, and there'll be more work from him.
The evening completed the museum's 5-week retrospective of Altman's films and featured a screening of a brand new print of MASH that created a nostalgic atmosphere for everyone who'd been involved in the production.
Who would have thought that 30 years ago we'd be here in front of a museum talking about a film, but here we are.
It's like a high school reunion, I suppose, is the closest thing to it. You know, we're talking about 30 years.
It's just amazing, yeah. Who would have thought?
I just had a very good time doing it. I had no idea it was going to be a memorable piece of work.
Remembering MASH, a 30th anniversary cast and crew reunion.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ian Burney. I'm the director of the film department, and I want to welcome all of you to this truly special 30th anniversary screening of MASH. This series started 5 weeks ago at the Academy of Motion Pictures with a screening of Nashville, and then following a kind of Altman-esque route, we moved ahead to the player and have now circled back to the beginning with MASH. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Bob Altman. Tonight's event would not have been possible without the collaboration of Fox Movie Channel, and particularly Billy Hall, Vice President of Programming and Production of the Fox Movie Channel. So please welcome Billy Hall.
Thank you all for coming here, and this is a celebration. It's more than a screening, it's a celebration. There are a couple people that wanted to be here to honor Mr. Altman and this evening that could not, but we have a special presentation that I'd like to show you, and then I'll be back in a second.
Bob, I'm terribly sorry that I can't be with you tonight, but you certainly have my congratulations, and you are still one of the greatest directors I've ever had the good fortune of working with. What have you got now?
I'd like to applaud 20th Century Fox and the Fox Movie Channel for extending to Robert Altman the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'd have given anything to be there tonight to celebrate with all of you, but unfortunately I cannot be. So I'll take advantage of the technology and just tell you, Bob, we love you, and just keep on keeping on. You're the best.
And now to present the inaugural Fox Movie Channel Legacy Award is the president of FX Networks, Peter Liguori.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming this evening. The Fox Movie Channel Legacy Award is given in recognition to a filmmaker who has contributed to 20th Century Fox, but most importantly to the filmmaking community at large. It's an honor, and we're humbled and proud to be bestowing this award on Mr. Altman this evening. Without any further ado, allow me to introduce the father of the independent film movement, the incomparable and always independent Mr. Robert Altman.
you. What a group. Thank you. I had a lot of things to say about what this was like, but I don't know. This isn't like anything I've ever experienced. I'm overwhelmed, and I like being whelmed. Overwhelmed is good, too. Bring on the gold. How nice. And I accept this in front of everybody who had helped me with this picture, but I accept it also for myself. And thank you very much.
After the award presentation and MASH screening, film critic Andy Klein invited the cast, crew, and Robert Altman onto the stage to share some special memories.
Okay, I think the first question, we have questions from the audience. And I guess Ingo or Mr. Altman, one of you two, how did the project start up? Who brought it to whom?
Thinking back 30 years, imagine here's a picture that was produced by a producer who has never done anything before. It was directed by a man who has not done a major picture before. It was based on a book that nobody read. And here we are, making that movie. The one man who, I must say, was responsible for the making of the picture is Ring Lardner Jr. He's a screenwriter who came to me with a manuscript of the book, which he had read, and said, Ingo, you've got to try and make this into a movie. I read it, and I agreed. So I sent it to a friend of mine by the name of Richard Zanuck, who was running 20th Century Fox at that time. But the big question was, who is going to direct it? A lot of big names were mentioned. 2 or 3 of them turned the picture down. And an agent by the name of George Leto parked in my office and never talked more about anything but his client, Robert Altman. So to get rid of George Leto, I went and met Robert Altman. And at that time, he played a little film for me that dealt with the smoking of pot. It was short, it was sweet, and I loved it. I called Richard Zanuck and said, we found a guy. He said, you're crazy. He's got to direct the picture. No way. Well, what shall I tell you? I finally convinced Mr. Zanuck to give us a try. The deal was made, we went ahead, and you saw the result yourself. I think nobody could have made this picture like Robert Altman. Nobody.
Ready? Nurse, you got a clamp, please?
Yes, sir. Why don't you use this little,
Scratch my nose. Just down here. There. Little harder, please.
The real reason this film got made, 20th Century Fox had 2 other wars going on then, Patton and Tora, Tora, Tora. And so these were big budget pictures. They were concerned about that. So I said, if we were just on the back lot there, nobody knew about us. I said, if we stay under budget and don't cause too much trouble, we can sneak this picture through because they're looking at these other things. And so we did that. We came in, I think, we came quite a bit under budget for a very low budget film. And Fox was looking at these other two wars. So we weren't released, but we escaped.
Stemmerhorn, get that son of a bitch. He just stole my Jeep.
The whole idea was so great because the only two guns fired in this war film were at the football game.
Now time for the gun, right?
So you had actually been in World War II?
Yes.
You had like action and stuff?
I was a B-24. I was a pilot.
Is this autobiographical or?
No, autobiographical?
Yeah.
No, just the stuff in the tent.
I'm married, I'm happy, I love my wife. If she was here, I would be with her. There is no question of loving anybody. It is a question.
You get the feeling watching the film, at least has this sense of a lot of improvising, but I don't know if that's really true. Can you and the actors talk about sort of what it was, how that directing worked?
It needs to be understood that we never improvised when the camera was rolling. I mean, I never had a sense of that. Maybe I'm inventing, but it seemed to me that there was a lot of improvisation that went on as the scene was being built. And then it was rehearsed that way, and improvised and rehearsed and improvised and rehearsed, and then it became very clearly structured.
I'd like you to meet Captain Pierce, our new surgeon. This is a Catholic chaplain, and his Captain Forrest.
They go red. They go red.
Captain Waldowski, our dental officer. This is Captain Black, our anesthesiologist.
I got you.
I'm the dentist here. Oh, I'm John Black. I'll be passing gas for you. Yeah. Welcome.
But in my case, in Hartlett's case, I wasn't supposed to stay in the film. I was supposed to go. And then when we did the scene in the shower, Bob ran around and said, now you can stay in the film. He just kept the camera rolling, and no one had ever done that in my whole life, but I'd gotten myself so worked up, and it just hit me.
Major, what went on over there?
Where's Colonel Blake?
Wait a second, you can't go and see Colonel
You
Blake.
shut up, you! This isn't a hospital! It's an insane asylum, and it's your fault!
So were there in fact things that you wanted in that you did have to cut? Was there stuff that, can we consider this the director's cut and
Oh,
just the way you
absolutely.
wanted it?
Absolutely. There's nothing that anybody took out of it. This is the first time that the word fuck was used in an R-rated film. And that was John Schuck in the football game. And I don't even know where that came from. I mean, it certainly wasn't written, and I certainly didn't tell him to do it.
I never could pronounce my name, so that's...
But in the dailies, he said, in that thing from the football line, he says,
All right, Bob, your fucking head is coming right off.
and that started all this foul talk.
Beautiful. I was going to say, that is so beautiful, and that's what we want to remember. But only you could have said it so adorably.
Thank you.
So none of the actors have any brutal stories, brutal directing stories here?
No, but what you do sense out of all of this is that all the actors listened to each other. We became so dependent on each other, and we knew that we would not be betrayed either by his suggestions or by each other. So this wonderful sense of camaraderie that accumulates as the movie goes on actually happened during the shooting of it. I mean, you had all these people from different backgrounds in this wonderful project, and by the end, fast friends, of course. But I think that shows on the screen.
You all come here to say your final farewell to old Walt here.
Farewell, Walt.
Dear old Walt. You know, I got an idea that maybe it's not such a final farewell after all. I think maybe old Walt's going on into the unknown to do a little recon work for us all. Huh?
I just want to say one thing. Nobody ordered Walt to go on this mission. He volunteered for certain death.
That's true.
That's what we award our highest medals
That's
for.
beautiful. Yeah.
That's what being a soldier is all about.
Oh, yes.
Here,
Oh,
here.
yes.
Here,
Yes.
When I read the script, I didn't know what it was about. I just knew it was like football and killing and war and all this stuff, and I kept looking for my dialogue, and there really was no dialogue in it. And my agent said, it doesn't matter, it's great, and this is a fantastic opportunity, and every little moment that I have, Bob, you know, encouraged it, gave birth to it, let me do it.
Hi, soldier. Who is it? Oh, it's Trapper. Trapper, don't worry. Just get some of this stuff off.
You idiot, I said a cardiac needle. You want me to get a nurse?
It's too late, Boone. You killed him.
Donald and me seem to be sort of separate. And in the scene where we're hitting golf balls, we sort of didn't get the way Bob was working. And so we complained about Bob.
Wish they wouldn't land these things here when we're playing golf.
We went to our agents and said, we don't think this guy knows what he's doing. You know, we're having a problem with this.
You went to me, too.
Yeah, but I mean, Donald and I were two snobs, and Bob used us very well, and Donald spoke with me, too, and he sends his love to all of us as well.
Good.
I'm going to go back to my bed. I'm going to put away the best part of a bottle of scotch. And under normal circumstances, you being normally what I would call a very attractive woman, I would have invited you back to share my little bed with me, and you might possibly have come. But you really put me off. I mean, you're what we call a regular Army clown.
I wonder how a degenerated person like that could have reached a position of responsibility in the Army Medical Corps.
He was drafted. I remember leaving the dailies one day, and we would all go to dailies, as most people know that the actors do in Bob's films, and you came out, and you were looking very worried, and you said, it's too happy around here. Something's, you know, this doesn't work in a film. There has to be some problems going on. And I think Donald and you maybe supplied that.
Finished work for the day?
Yes, why?
Good, good. I just wanted to make sure you had time to sleep this off.
Supplied what?
What you described earlier, going to him and raising a little cane.
You can't go in there.
No, look at
Who
that.
are you?
Who am I? I am the pro from Dover,
Well, I
and
don't
this is
believe
my
you.
favorite
You can't
caddy.
go until I call Captain Peterson.
No, look,
Gotta
wait a
call
second.
Captain
Wait a
Peterson.
second.
No,
Wait,
wait
if this soldier wants to enforce their own orders, I'm going to take
You
her on
can't go
single-handedly.
there.
Now,
Stay
you're a
away
body
from
lady.
me.
You're
I'll
a
call the
pretty
police.
lady.
As far as Donald and me, I mean, most of us are somewhat pretentious. Bob keeps us from being pretentious. I'm extremely grateful and have never been happier, and will always feel that this is the highlight of my film career.
Look, Mother, I want to go to work in 1 hour. We are the pros from Dover, and we figure to crack this kid's chest and get out to the golf course before it gets dark. So you go find the gas passer, and you have him pre-medicate this patient. Then bring me the latest pictures on him. The ones we saw must be 48 hours old by now. Then call the kitchen and have them rustle us up some lunch. Ham and eggs will be all right. Steak would be even better. And then give me at least one nurse who knows how to work in close without getting her tits in my way.
Oh, you fool. How do you want your steak cooked?
One amusing touch, when Michael Altman, who's a 14-year-old young man, came to me with a song, and I really liked it. I said, this is a great song. So he said, well, all I want for it, this boy said, is a guitar. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's all I want. So I said, no, you're going to get a contract like anybody else, royalties, etc., etc. Now, the amusing thing is that Michael Altman made more money out of this picture than his father.
Oh. By a long shot.
Amusing to some, right? Yeah.
Really funny, Ingo.
And I can take or leave it if I please.
I'm cool about it all because what I got out of it was better than money.
Fred, you talked about how this launched your career, right? I mean, your acting career.
Well, when I came today, I said to Bob, you know, thank you for making me a star. And his response just tonight was, I allowed you to be a star. and it's true. He did. He gave me this was my first film. I happened to be at the right place at the right time. Each actor brought their own expertise to the part. They brought a certain character. I brought my expertise was a lowly ex-football player, is what they considered me. I was not an actor yet to them. I was a lowly football player. Nobody talked to me, nobody spoke to me, but it was all right. So he allowed me to be Spear Chucker. I wasn't thrilled about the name, but I knew I knew I could overcome it based on my integrity and the image that I have in real life. I knew I could overcome Spear Chucker.
That's Spear Chucker Jones. Spear Chucker who? He played with San Francisco before he got drafted. Boy, he's going to be tough to stop, too.
When you do a film, there's a certain amount of, I have to deal with truth in it. And when I got this gig on this big cast picture, these black friends would come to me and they'd say, well, good, I got a part. I said, the only way you get a part in this picture is if you're either wounded or you are an orderly. Because the fact of the matter was that in that war, there was no integration. I mean, it was on the books, but it didn't happen. And so bringing in this brain surgeon was the only way we could make that work. But Tom Skerritt, who played this Southern boy, I mean, he was a racist. We all were racist. And everybody's a racist. I don't care which race you're in.
You know, you guys said one of the problems. I just went about the social problem. You know what I mean? He's the only Negro officer in the whole camp, you know.
We got a problem, then we'll stick him in here with us, baby boy.
You're serious, ain't you? You
Sure,
do
I'm
that.
serious, yeah.
It's enough for me to have to put up with you two Yankees, but I'm, you know, that's...
But we tried to let that message come through in the fabric and of what was really going on. And hasn't changed a lot, has it?
Bastard 88 called me a coon. Called you a what? Coon.
Hey, that's an old pro trick to get you thrown out of the ball game.
Well,
Why don't you do the same thing to him?
what, call him a coon?
No, the boys in camp used to talk about his sister. Her name was Gladys. Use it.
Yeah. All right.
While you were making the film, I mean, even if everybody was having a great time, did people on the set think, wow, we've got something here that's, you know, it's captured the zeitgeist and it's really going to connect with people? Or did you think you were working on this wonderful thing that was going to crash and burn?
The first time I really realized that I had a screening of an assembly of a rough cut at Fox, and I had invited a bunch of people. And Johnny Williams, the composer, who was a friend of mine, came to this thing. And Ted Knight was the voice you heard on many of those announcements. And Ted Knight came up the aisle after this screening, and tears were running down his face. He was just crying, and he came to me and he said, he couldn't say anything. He was so moved. And Johnny Williams came up and he said, you have got a great film here. And it was the first time I even really stopped to think about it, that something was going to work. Because, you know, really what we do and what we want to do is finish it, and then you hope something happens with it, hope it works. But Johnny Williams and Ted Knight were the first kind of harbingers of that we had maybe had something.
Well, you know, after you showed the film at Fox to Ring Lardner, and many of us were inside with you while the writer was watching it, and some of us were outside just playing ball. He came out and approached me and said, how could you have done this to me? There's not a word I wrote on screen. And then he went on to win the Academy Award for the best screenplay.
Well, yeah, and thank God he did. And Ring was the author of this without question.
It isn't just chance. I'm sure of that.
God meant us to find each other.
His will be done. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank, my lips are hot. Oh.
Hot lips?
We have got to share this with the rest of the camp.
Oh, Frank, yes. Darling. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank, strangle me. Hard. Frank. Oh.
What the hell is that?
Could you say a few words, any of you, but probably Bob in particular, about the TV show and how you feel? I mean, to some degree, in the mass public consciousness, when they hear MASH, that's what they think of now because it was on for 10 years or something. Sorry.
At my mother's funeral in Kansas City, several years after MASH, and we were back at the house, and these ladies come in and cook. You know, everybody's making soup and all that. And I'll never forget this. This friend of my mother's, I went into the kitchen and she said, "Oh, Mr. Altman, your mother was so proud of you. And I want to tell you, we see that MASH every week. We wouldn't miss it." I hate it. I hated the idea of it. I did. I really did for this reason. I thought the way we ended this film, we made it sickly. There was the Vietnam War was going. We hid as much as possible the fact that this was a Korean War. They made us put that legend on the front because then if you'd seen the film the way I first cut it, you would think it was Vietnam, which was what was in our minds. The series came along, and it was certainly well done, and it was done by very creative and talented people. But to me, it went on for 12 years, and it was that every Sunday night there was an Asian war in your living room, and even though there were platitudes all the time about the doctors and what good guys they were, and they really were against, the enemy always subliminally, and in fact, the enemy were brown people with narrow eyes, and I just felt that this was the wrong message. This was the opposite of what I felt we were doing when we did MASH. And most people in the world, certainly in this country, when you say MASH, they think of the television series. Most people don't even know there was a film made.
When I hear MASH, I think of the movie, and I've been subtly informed that we're basically out of time. So I want to thank all of you. This has been terrific.
Thank you.
MASH made Robert Altman a sought-after director, and for many of the cast members, launched their careers. But it's this film that's proven to hold a very special place in their hearts. 30 years later, it was a night to remember, the wonderful times on the set of an unforgettable motion picture.
Attention, tonight's movie has been MASH. Follow the zany antics of our combat surgeons as they cut and stitch their way along the front lines. Starring Donald Sutherland, Elliot Gould, Tom Skerritt, Sally Kellerman, Robert Duvall, Joanne Flug, Renee Aubergenois, Roger Bowen, Gary Berghoff, David Arkin, John Chuck, Fred Williams, and Indus Arthur, Tim Brown, Corey Fisher, Bud Cort, Carl Gottlieb, Dawn Damon, Tamara Horrocks, Ken Primus, Danny Goldman, Kim Atwood, Michael Murphy, G. Wood, Rick Thielen, and Bobby Troop.
Goddamn Army.
That is all.